Mindful Life Practice.
The spotlight, and then plug this one in. All right, so we're gonna come into a child pose to start. I love starting in child's pose because I find that it can kind of help me like ground down and center. After my busy work day with like so much going on. So many e-learning posts to approve and comment on and emails to respond to. So I kind of want to go with this intention today of just like letting go. Letting go of kind of whatever you've been dealing with, whatever you've been thinking about or worrying about. A good way of letting go is just arriving in this moment, in this practice on your mat. Using the breath to kind of bring us here and bring us back when our mind ever wanders away. If you have another intention for your yoga bar practice today, maybe identify that now. And then we're going to take one more round of breath in the child's pose. And then just start walking the palms over towards the right, so taking it into a lateral side bend. So I think all of you guys have been in this class before with me, and I think you all kind of know what to expect. We're going to move through a yoga style warm up. Let's walk the palms back and then take them the other way. And then we're going to get into like our bar work, which is like strengthening training with hand weights and resistance bands and a Pilates ball. And then we're going to move back into some yoga at the end. So let's take one more round of breath. And then come all the way back into a table. We're going to do a shoulder opener. So lift all the way up, knees underneath the hips. Take your right palm up towards the sky. Take your breath in, and then thread your right arm underneath the left and rest your right cheek. So in our 30-day yoga challenge, we're kind of moving through the limbs of yoga, starting with the yamas and niyamas. And so we've learned about the first two yamas, which are ahimsa and satya. Take one more breath. And then come all the way back through center and twist the opposite way. So the third yama in the Yoga Sutras is the concept Asteya. And Asteya most commonly directly translates to non-stealing. And I think at first glance, this yama is like kind of easy. We're like, okay, I don't steal. I've never robbed a bank, check. Come all the way back through center. But what it really means is it prompts us, and let's move through cat-cows as we do this. So inhaling our cow and then exhaling our cat. Asteya just kind of prompts us to remember, all the ways, big and small, that we borrow or we take things that are not ours. Whether it's like copying and pasting a quotation with like forgetting to cite the source. Or whether it's something like borrowing something from someone and never giving it back. Let's take one more round of breath. And then just tuck the toes and lift all the way up to a down dog. So Asteya is kind of like the first time in yoga that we encounter non-attachment. And really, when we take things from others, it comes from a source of like feeling like we don't have enough or we are not enough. Let's take one more round of breath in our down dog, and then we're going to bend through both knees and step the feet forward. Let's take one more round of breath, half lifting. Exhale, fold, and then bend through the knees, toe down, step together, and then lifting off into your chair. So one way that we could maybe even interpret Asteya is like, you know, if we don't feed ourselves with nutritious food, we're like stealing from our energy. We're stealing from our body's abilities, right? We're not nourishing ourselves enough to move. Or maybe when we push ourselves too far in our yoga practice, it's Asteya, right? We're like stealing energy that we should really be reserving. So the cool thing about the Yoga Sutras is that it's like up to your own interpretation. How am I going to practice this yama? Let's press through both feet, lift all the way up to stand, and then take your palms into heart center. Take one round of breath. And then we're going to start to move through our warm-up flow. Okay, so inhale both palms up towards the sky. Exhale into a fold. Take your inhale to halfway lift. And then exhale back down. Keep the right foot, step the left foot back, and we'll do a couple of rocks forward and back on the hips. So in this class, I generally use a pretty similar warm-up each time because I think it's cool to like get familiar with the moves, build on our abilities every week. Let's land through the left knee, and then inhale both palms up towards the sky, finding your low lunge. Just take a breath, settling your gaze. And then exhale to come forward. Walk the palms back as you lengthen over the right leg. Okay, let's take 3 rounds of breath. Inhale. And then exhale, 2 more. And then 1 more. And then come all the way back. Walk the palms forward. You're going to tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Take your right palm up towards the sky like you're coming into a twist. So you're really grounded on your left palm. Now you can choose, if you just want to land the right palm and step straight back to a plank and a down dog, that's okay. And if you want to roll over into a side plank, we're going to roll the right foot to the side. We're on the outer edge of the left foot. And then maybe you take the right foot with you and stack the feet. Let's just stay for 3 and 2 and then 1. Come forward, land both palms, land the knees onto the mat. And then slowly lower all the way down. Elbows are drawing back. Inhale, lift up into a heart opener. Exhale your way back down. And then shift through a tabletop. Find your down dog. And then we're going to step forward with the left foot. Take a big step forward. You can use your hand to get there. And then do a few rocks forward and back. And then maybe you land onto that knee, and then inhale your palms up and just settle your gaze. Take a few breaths. And then we're going to come forward. Walk the palms back, come into that hamstring stretch. Take 3 breaths. Lengthen over your left leg. 2. And then 1. Walk your palms forward, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, root through the right palm, spiral your left palm towards the sky, so you're taking a spinal twist. And then if you want to roll onto the outer edge of the foot, take the left foot back, finding your strong side plank for 3 and 2, and then 1, come forward and then flow through your vinyasa. Maybe you do it with the knees lifted if you know what you're doing. Take 1 more breath, stay in your down dog. And then we're gonna bend through the knees, gaze forward, and then just step both feet forward. Bend through the knees, sit back into your chair, and then lift the arms up. Let's stay for 3 and 2, and then 1, coming all the way up to stand and take your palms again into your heart center. So you can choose whether you are using your weights for this next part of the warm-up or without them, okay? And you'll be familiar with the way that we're gonna warm up if you've done this before. We're gonna take our toes out, heels in, bend through the knees so you're coming into what is a plie stance in ballet. It's a goddess stance in yoga. And then you can take your arms out to either side. Okay, we're gonna rotate on one foot, curl the arms together, find yourself going into a lunge, and then open, and then twist the opposite way. Okay, so this is working on our hip mobility. If you have the weights in hand, this is strengthening through your arms. We're also doing a spinal flexion, right? We're curling the spine inward. Please know that you can put down the weights at any point. They're just kind of like added there to up the level, not obligatory. Let's take 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and then 1 more. Come all the way back. What we're gonna do is lengthen through one leg, reach the arm up, reach the other arm down, and then come back to center, and then take the opposite way. So it's a little bit of like warrior 2 legs. You're rotating and lifting that back heel, and you're extending through the arms. Okay, let's take 4 more, 3 more, 2 more. Last one, come all the way back, take the weights together. I'm just gonna turn so that I am facing actually I'm not gonna turn and face the side, sorry, you're gonna stay wide. Heels in, toes out, I forgot what's next. Bend through the knees. It's our deadlifts, okay? So weights go up overhead for the breath in, and then on the breath out, you hinge forward. Inhaling up, and then exhaling forward. Okay, so this is your deadlift, but it's like a bar yoga style deadlift because you're in your plie. If you want to take it up a level, maybe you lift off the heels. So the heels are floating and you're finding your balance. Let's take 8 more of these. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 more, and then a last one. Land the heels, land the weights down, just set them to the side, and it turns so that I'm on the long side of my mat. You're gonna step all the way back to a plank. Now, you can land the knees onto the mat. You can do this with the knees landed. If you're okay with them lifted, we're gonna step the right foot forward so that it's outside the hands. Take the right hand down, up towards the sky. So we're twisting again, right palm lands, step back, okay? So we keep moving like this. We're twisting through the body. We're activating through the core. We're building the hip mobility. And know that you don't have to go at the same pace as me. You can go slower. You can also land the knees. You can also take a break. Asteya, right? We're trying to practice self-care. Trying to identify how much energy do I have to give to this practice today. Four more. 3, 2, and then 1. Come all the way back to your plank. Hold on to it for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, shift all the way back and up to your down dog. Push the ground away, and then just take some deep breaths. Okay, you can either come down onto your knees for this next part, and you can lift the right leg and lift the left arm, and then just curl the elbow to meet the knee. and then extend, okay? That's one option. And if you wanna come with me through this core segment, we've been doing this in vinyasa quite a bit, so you should be familiar with it. I'm gonna fix my shirt. Okay, so we're gonna come all the way up to a down dog. And you're gonna take the right leg up towards the sky and bend through the right knee. Now, if you wanna flip your dog, go ahead. Landing onto the right tippy toes, and then lifting the heart up. Come all the way back through center. Take the right knee into the chest. Princess is awake today. We're gonna cross 1, 2 with the knee, 3, 4, and then you're gonna rock star. So land the right heel on the outside of the left palm, land onto the left heel, and then inhale all the way up. Land the left palm back down. Take the right knee in again. Now we're gonna rotate into that side plank. Maybe your right foot is lifted, maybe it's staggered. Stay for 3, stay for 2, and then for 1, let's take the right foot all the way forward. So if you were down in the table, just see if you can step the right foot forward, and then we'll inhale up into a crescent lunge. Exhale, open into a warrior 2. Inhale, reverse the warrior. And then exhale, windmill palms to the mat. Step the right foot back. And then either go directly to down dog or flow through your vinyasa, your choice. And then we'll take one more before we start to get into the bar. So take your left foot up towards the sky, bend through the left knee, stack the hips. Maybe you flip the dog, landing the left toes, lifting your heart. Stay for 3, stay for 2, stay for 1, and then unwind all the way back. Take your left knee into the chest, give it 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Maybe you extend the leg, lifting the right palm up towards the sky. 3, 2, 1. We're gonna come forward, land the right palm, roll all the way into your Vashisthasana, your side plank, pushing the ground away. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then on 1, step your left foot all the way forward. Inhale all the way up into your crescent. Exhale, open into your warrior 2. Inhale, reverse the warrior. And then exhale, come all the way back, windmill palms to the mat and frame the foot. Come all the way back to down dog, maybe vinyasa. And then bend through both knees, gaze forward, step your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale all the way up to stand. Okay, hands at heart center. Take your chair, move it so that it's in a good place for you. And we're gonna move through our first exercise, which everyone loves. Someone actually told me, I forget who, someone sent me a message last week saying they loved it. Love-hate relationship, I think is the right word. The ball goes in between your calf and your thigh, and you're going to pop your body out enough so that you find yourself parallel. Now, first, we're going to keep that ball there. If you don't have a ball today, you can use a stuffed animal. You can use whatever, really. First, we're just going to keep that knee there, bend the left knee, and then lengthen it. You also can not have anything at all. Really, the intention of having this ball there is just to kind of create and maintain that angle. Because if we're not holding something in place, you get really lazy with that back leg. Oh my God, cat just jumped off my counter onto the guitar, almost knocked it over. Let's take her 3, or 2. At least she's not getting in the way. And then 1, neutralize. Take the knee in, open it to the side, close it, and then extend. So we're making a little sequence. Knee in, open to the side, close, and then extend, okay? This is, when it opens to the side, it's called a fire hydrant. Let's take 2 more. And then 1 more. And then take that knee up and then do 8 squeezes. 8 lifts. 8 squeezes. 8 lifts. You know what's next. 8 squeezes. Last one, your left leg's probably killing. 8 lifts. Now remove that ball, just lengthen through the right leg. Maybe you hold the ball in your heart center. Find your warrior 3 from yoga. Take 3, take 2, and then take 1. Come all the way up to stand. Oh, let's shake it off. Yay, time for side 2. Okay, so the ball is going between your calf and your thigh. You're hopping out, you're finding that parallel. Take your breath in with the knee lifted, and then we'll just do the bend and lengthen of the standing leg. Princess. I was thinking yesterday I might like make a montage of like her interrupting all my classes. Seriously, she makes the show. Let's take just 3 more of these. 2. And then 1, lengthen. We're gonna curl in, fire hydrant, curl in, and then extend. Okay, moving with this rhythm. Remember to lightly hold onto your chair. You're not gripping it to death. You can take a break if you need to. Three, 2, and then 1 more. Come all the way back, lift the knee up, 8 squeezes, 8 lifts, 8 squeezes, 8 lifts. 1 more round, you got this. 8 lifts. Okay, let's keep balancing. Remove the ball, lengthen the leg, hold it at your heart center. Warrior 3, 3 deep breaths. And then come all the way back up. Nice work. Let's shake it out. Maybe grabbing a sip of water. The ball is going to go to the side for now. We're not going to use it. And your chair can go beside you. You might want it for the next thing, just holding on to like an imaginary bar for a little bit of work. You're going to take your weight and place it on your hip. And you are going to keep your outside leg from the bar forward. And you're going to step your inside leg back. Okay, so you can be holding on nicely onto the bar. I want you to see that your left knee is stacking above your left ankle and your right leg is extended behind you. And then we're gonna start first by just lowering and then lifting. Lowering and then lifting. So you're lowering close to the mat. You're creating like these 2 90-degree angles. Let's take 4 more of these. 2, and then 1, bend, take the weight into your heart center. If you need to keep holding onto the chair, go ahead, but you can also take both hands around the weight, and then you're gonna twist away from the bar, and then come all the way back. Okay, so you're twisting towards your knee that is forward, called a closed twist. I think it just benefits us mostly from a stability perspective. 7, last one, 8, come all the way back through center. Lift your weight up overhead. Now it's in both hands. You're gonna bend through your elbows so that weight is just behind you and do some little tricep dips, forward and back. So depending on how heavy your weight is, this might be super hard. If it's too much, just remove the weight, okay? This is a muscle group that we don't work very often. Like our biceps, we use often to like carry groceries. Triceps, we have less opportunities to work them in our everyday life. So if it feels exhausting, feel free to back off. Right, take care of your energy. Stay for 3, for 2, and then 1, come all the way forward, and then just step your left foot forward with you. Oh, take a little breather. I'm gonna turn around and move my chair just to prepare for the opposite side. Okay, so your right foot stays where it is, left foot steps all the way back, holding onto the bar, weight in one hand, and then start first by bending and then lifting. Let's take 4, 3, 2, on 1, hold this. Take your weight into your heart center, either holding the bar still or holding onto the weight now. You're gonna rotate and then realign the spine. So the weight is like resting in the center of your chest. Your shoulders are softened. And we're really activating the abdominal muscles to take these curls. Keep the bends in both knees. Let's take 4 more. 3, 2, and then on 1, come all the way back through center, lift the weight up. You can do this, bend through the elbows, those little tricep dips. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Oh, I need to take this thing away from Princess. Okay. Come all the way back to face me. 1 more, well, not really 1 more. Our last main bar focused exercise. We're coming back into a plie. So your heels are in, toes are out, bend through the knees, sit yourself down here, hands onto the hips. Either just staying like this, or maybe lifting one heel and lowering, and then lifting the opposite and lowering. Okay, keep going like this. And now a third level you can do is take both heels at once. Let's take 4, 3, 2, and then on 1, maybe you keep the heels lifted, lift your arms up. We're gonna curl them in, open, push them overhead, okay? Curl, open, overhead, lift. So this is like a 2 exercise sequence. It's both chest work and it's shoulder work. 4, 3, 2, 1. Press up, come all the way back. Take your elbows to be like almost at shoulder height, and we're gonna do a little bit of a hip hop move, crossing, bringing them back, crossing, bringing them back. And you can kind of like dance if you want. And you don't have to. I think Princess still thinks that that lip gloss is underneath that pillow. She's like desperately trying to find it. She missed the memo that I took it away. 4, 3, 2, and then 1, come all the way back. Lengthen through your legs. Turn your right toes in a little bit, turn your left toes out, bend through the left knee. Okay, so you're coming into a warrior 2 now. Your left toes are directed forward. You can always put down the weights, okay? We're gonna lift our arms and extend them into a warrior 2 with our weights in hand, okay? Now as you inhale, reverse the warrior, breathe into the left rib cage, and then as you exhale, find yourself into your warrior 2. Keep flowing like this. 2 more. Last one. Come all the way back. Bend at your left elbow. Land your left elbow on your left knee. Reach your right arm overhead. So this is an extended side angle. Staying here for 3, for 2, And then 1, come all the way back. Lengthen through your left leg now. Wiggle your right heel in a tiny bit. Now we're coming into a Trikonasana, reaching forward. Left arm alongside left calf and right arm reaches up towards the sky. And then you choose, you can either just stay here getting this deep stretch, or you might tilt and balance into your half moon, your Ardha Chandrasana. Let's stay for 3, for 2, and then on 1, you're gonna come all the way back, and then we'll take it the opposite side. Okay, so turn your left toes in, turn your right toes out, bend through your right knee, find yourself in a warrior 2, just lengthen through the arms with the weights in hand, and then as you breathe in, reverse your warrior, and then as you breathe out, come back to your warrior 2. 3 more flows like this. 2. 1 more. Come all the way back, land your right elbow, take your left arm overhead, extended side angle. Taking a few deep breaths. And then come all the way back through center. You're gonna lengthen through your right leg, walk your foot in a tiny bit, hinge, and then take your right arm alongside your right calf. So now you're in your Trikonasana from yoga. And then maybe you shift weight onto your right foot, finding your balance, weights in hand. Give me 3, 2, and then 1. Come all the way back through center. Okay, turn your toes in now. Take a breath in, and then we're gonna hinge into a forward fold. And this is a wide-legged forward fold. You can leave the weights on the ground, or you might use them coming into this spinal twist. So you're gonna keep your right palm, lift your left arm up towards the sky. You're just expanding through the collarbone. And then come all the way back, and then twist the opposite way. Take 1 more of each. And then a last one. Now let's come all the way back. Just land the weights. Take the hands onto the hips. You're gonna turn your toes, take a big step forward, all the way to the front of the mat. Okay, tricep and bicep push-ups now. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, step the feet. Step all the way back, finding yourself into a plank, and then land the knees onto the mat. Okay, so we're gonna do tricep push-ups first, elbows going back, and then pushing the ground away. So this is like the action for your chaturangas, right? You're building strength to eventually come up into those arm balances. 4 more. 3 more. 2. And then 1. Now, you're gonna take your elbows out to the side, okay? So chest push-ups, pushing the ground away. You know what, I'm gonna turn so that you can see me better. So you're making like these right angles. If you want to come up onto your toes, go ahead. I think it's most important that you're like keeping your spine safe, right? So if your body is like hammocking down when you're push-upping and your toes are tucked, then just land the knees. Okay, let's take 3 more. 2 more. And then 1 more. Just come all the way back and then sit back into a child's pose and rest your forehead. Taking a few deep breaths in and deep breaths out. And take 1 more inhale and 1 more exhale. Come all the way up into your table again. You're gonna take your weights in hands if you want. We're gonna do bird dog now, which is when you're in your table and you lift the right leg and then you lift the left leg and then you curl elbow to knee. If you wanna take it with your weight in hand, that's an option, okay? It's just an option to like up level. gonna take 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Come all the way and extend. Now, lower your weight. I'm gonna switch hands so you can see me better. Lower your weight down so that it's like close to your mat, and then we're just gonna upwards row it. Okay, so curling the weight into your chest and releasing. And if it's not enough with 1 weight, you can also grab onto 2 just to up level. 4 of these. If you need to land your back knee, go ahead. 2, and then 1, and then just land the weights, land the knees. Take a breath into our cow, a breath out to your cat, and then take the opposite side. So extending the opposite leg, holding onto the weight with the opposite arm, take a breath in, and then curl and extend. Four more. 3 more. 2 more. And then 1 more. Extend everything out. Hold for 3, for 2, and then for 1. And then we'll take those upwards rows with 1 weight or 2 weights, curling up to the chest, lowering. Just take 8 more of these. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Land the weights. Okay, just a little bit of core, and then I promise we're gonna move into our yoga mode, okay? So we're gonna come all the way up into a plank. And then from our plank, we're gonna do some mountain climbers. So if it's too much with your toes tucked, you can land the knees and just stay there. If you're good with the mountain climbers, we're gonna curl and extend. Just moving like this. Going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Come all the way back, land the knees onto the mat. Slowly lower all the way down. Okay, so you're on your belly. Palms can be underneath. You're gonna take your elbows underneath the shoulders, your palms out in front of you, and then we're just gonna take a few deep breaths in this mild back bend. This is your Sphinx. You made it to the yoga part of the class. Our nice deep stretching. So if you are good in your Sphinx, stay here. If you want a little bit of a deeper back bend, we are gonna take it up into an upwards bow. Okay, so you can either just stay where you are, or first we're gonna do some cross bows. So you're gonna take your left arm across the width of your mat, kick your left heel into your bottom, and then take the opposite hand, and then just make a connection and like open your heart. Okay, take a few deep breaths. One more inhale. And then 1 more exhale. And then we'll take the opposite side. So arm goes across, kick the heel into the bottom, open up your chest, taking 3 deep breaths. And then lower back down. If you want to, maybe you take your palms to your ankles, and then you're gonna kick back and lift your heart, coming all the way up into that upward bow. Imagine that you're like holding that Pilates ball in place in between your legs. Let's inhale for 3 and 2, and then 1. Come all the way back, land, and then just rotate and rock your heels from side to side. Coming all the way back, just land the feet. We're gonna press through the palms, come all the way up into a table, and we're gonna take a low lunge with a quad stretch, okay? If the quad stretch is not accessible to you, you can always just come up to stand and take a quad stretch like this, okay? Because we're about to do a pretty deep quad stretch. So you're gonna come into a low lunge with 1 foot forward, right or left, and then kick the opposite heel towards the bottom and grip the palm onto that foot. So this is quite advanced. If you have tight quads, maybe you go spinning all the time, like my mom, feel free to take it standing, okay? It's not, doesn't really matter. We're meeting the same objective, just in different methods, right? Hold into your twist for 3, and for 2, and then for 1. Release your foot, release the palm back down, and then we're gonna come directly into a pigeon stretch. So you're gonna walk your right foot across the width of the mat, lay your right shin across the width of the mat, wiggle your left knee back in space, take an inhale, and then hinge your body forward, okay? So this is quite a deep hip opener. There is a variation that you can take. Like this, or thread the needle. So either or. Today, my students' reflection was to give thanks. They had to think of someone that had done something nice for them and thank them. Reading their reflections was like really cute. He said, you know, I thank my mom for teaching me. I thank my dad for helping me for my work. One kid said, I thank my parents for protecting me from coronavirus. I thought that was really sweet. So maybe as we drop into the like more calming and more still parts of this practice, think about Asteya as like giving as well as taking, right? Is there someone that you could offer or dedicate this practice to who supported or cared for you? Let's take one more round of breath in your pigeon. And then we're going to make our way back to a table and then move through these 2 stretches on the opposite side. Okay, so your left foot comes forward, and first is the lunge with the quad stretch. Remember, you can take this standing. You might find that one side is more flexible than the other. That's normal. If you are trying it on your knee and your kneecap is sensitive, you can cushion with a blanket or a pillow. Let's take a few deep breaths. Taking one more inhale, one more exhale. And then come all the way back, and we're gonna walk the shin across the width of the mat and then drop into our deep pigeon. One more inhale, one more exhale, and then we're just gonna roll onto our left hip, come all the way forward. We're gonna come into a hamstring stretch. If you have something to grip around your foot, go ahead. Like a resistance band or a scarf, or you can just hold on to your calf. It doesn't really matter. Your left knee can be bent or it can be extended. That's a bit of a deeper stretch. So our bar class is unique because we are really more focused on strengthening than stretching. So you'll find if you start doing a lot of bar, like I do bar every morning, it means that my flexibility has gotten less supple. But I think that's okay because I think having a balance of strengthening and stretching is really important. Take one more breath. And then we'll stretch the other side, right? If you only focus on flexibility, then you might one day, tear your ligaments because you're overstretching them. And then vice versa, if you only focus on strength, you might become stiff as a board and, really need a lot of yoga in your elderly years. So it's really important that we strike the right balance in our lives. Let's take one more breath. And then we're going to drop all the way into a spinal twist. So you can take the knees up. And then just drop the knees both to one side. Gaze in the opposite direction. And open the arm and twist the opposite way. So we're going to finish our practice in a little bit of a meditation or a shavasana. You can choose what pose is most comfortable for you. I'm going to come all the way forward. I just want to read you guys today a passage on the concept of Asteya. This is written by my favorite yoga teacher of all time. His name's Rolf Gates. I know Yasser has read this book. What I like about him is that he tries to embody the teachings of yoga, but he's also very humble and very real about the times when he hasn't embodied yoga. Anyway, this is a story about when he just finished teaching a week-long yoga retreat in Mexico. So it was the most powerful experience that I have ever had. I was either practicing yoga or teaching yoga, meditating, chanting, or fasting for 7 straight days. The closing ceremony was deeply moving as the 65 participants shared their personal stories of healing and transformation. And the next morning, I borrowed a pair of scissors from the hotel, and I began to remove the inspirational quotes we posted on the wall of the yoga studio. And as I used these scissors, I realized they would be helpful on the next retreat, which was only 3 weeks away and at the same facility. So I wisely stored the scissors in my bag with the quotes. And as I went to check out, the manager of the hotel asked me about the scissors. We were in the jungle, a few miles from town, and scissors apparently do not grow on trees down there. So I had the good fortune of having to open up my suitcase in front of this loving woman and retrieve her scissors. And this happened in the middle of writing about Asteya. Be careful what you pray for. My attempted theft of this woman's scissors gave me pause to think, and it certainly brought home the difference between doing a lot of spiritual practice and truly standing in my spirituality. Right? Each theft, each time we forget to return something we borrowed, each moment we give in to the impulse to covet or be jealous, we're saying that the universe is not. To practice Asteya, we have to abandon ourselves, trust in the care of the universe, be willing to give up all we have for the one true thing. Seeing in each moment, with each thought, word, and action, the universe is. Ishkavamahulela, 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 Ishkavamahulela. Give your fingers and your toes a little wake up wiggle. And run a nice long stretch from your fingers all the way through your toes. And then we're gonna make our way up to our seated shape. Hands can be at the heart center, shoulders relaxed. An interesting thing about what I close all my yoga classes with now, they are the words of my teacher, Rolf, who wrote that book. Took a yoga teacher training with him this summer, and These are the words that he passed from his teachings to me. He says, we close with an intention, an ancient intention. It's been passed from heart to heart through thousands of years. That our yoga practice remain steady and that our efforts be continuous. That our yoga serves and benefits all beings everywhere. May all beings be safe. May all beings be well, healthy and free, and may the thoughts and actions of each of our lives work towards this. And if you want to join, we're going to take an Om together. So inhaling and exhaling, and then inhaling through to make an Om. So taking a breath in, and then a breath out, and a breath in. Thank you guys so much for sharing the space and the practice this afternoon. May we have lovely weekends, or if you're in North America, happy 2 full days left of work. I'm sorry about that. It's the weekend where I'm from. Om Shanti, 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 peace. Namaste.
The Mindful Life Practice.